This could break the joint pain industry in half. A method so powerful, it's designed to super strengthen your joints, destroy inflammation and stiffness, and give anyone a pain-free life in a matter of weeks. It has been conveniently ignored by all mainstream media. Big pharma paid doctors simply refuse to acknowledge its existence. Your rheumatologist won't say a word about it. And yet, once this secret gets in the public eye, it will shatter the multi-billion-dollar corrupt joint pain market and turn their profits into pure ash. So if you're here, turn up the volume, pay close attention, and take notes, because you're minutes away from the most important discovery of your life. Hi, my name is Adam Phillips, and over the next 3.5 minutes, I'm going to show you how a terrible accident at my daughter's wedding forced me to come across an ancient pain relief method that's been used for centuries by the incredible Amish people that can finally stop chronic joint pain in just a few weeks, without painkillers, steroid injections, or expensive and dangerous surgeries. And that's not all. I'll show you how this method used solely by people that have remained faithful to their natural healing practices has been completely ignored by all the elite medical circles. Until recently, when undeniable scientific evidence emerged in a breakthrough study conducted by the brilliant Stanford University just less than 2 years ago, proving for the first time in the era of modern pharmaceutical medicine that this method is guaranteed to work for anyone out there. No matter if your joint pain is the result of chronic arthritis, trauma, genetics, overuse, tendon or ligament damage, bursitis, cartilage decay, or anything else. Despite what modern science dictates, there is a reason why joint pain persists, in spite of all the effort you've put into getting rid of it. And it all starts with a sneaky activity located deep inside your cells that attacks vital parts of your joints, leaving you in a world of undying pain. But worry not, because once you understand how all this happens, you'll hold the key to obliterate any sort of inflammation from your joints, stop joint pain, and regain your beautiful old life back. This all-natural and proven solution is as efficient as it is safe and will work for any man or woman out there, no matter if you struggle with mild or severe pain, no matter if you're in your 20s, 40s, or late 80s, and no matter if you've been fighting this hellish condition for 2 days, 4 months, or 40 years. If you're sick and tired of all that pain and stiffness, seeing it get worse day by day, while all that comes out from your doctor's mouth is lame apologies like, "It is what it is," just hold on. I understand you're skeptical right now. Truth is, with everything that's going on in today's world, you've probably been misled many times and been let down more times than you can count. Hoping in vain that the anti-inflammatory prescriptions, with all their side effects, the exercise regimes, and the surgeries that cost an arm and a leg will save you from this nightmare. But they didn't, did they? Or else you and I would have probably not met in these circumstances. But you know what? All this changes now. Because no matter where you are or what the current deteriorated condition of your joints is, and even if all this sounds too good to be true, you simply cannot afford to miss this presentation. I promise you, it will change your life. So if you want a completely safe and pure solution to ease your pain and regain your healthy joints, and if you're exhausted and sick of the petty excuses coming out of Big Pharma aimed at the chronic pain treatment market, then keep watching this video, because the end is something no man or woman on this beautiful planet can afford to miss. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover the sole real answer on how to fix your joints in just a matter of weeks. Over 79,600 men and women across America and all over the world have tried this pain relief method and restored their joints' health and mobility. Here are some of their success stories. George Pratt, a 68-year-old from Santa Ana, says, "I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis 8 years ago. I'd been on morphine and oxycodone, but the pain didn't let me sleep. In short, my life was a living nightmare. My doctor looked at me in disbelief and just said that it's just the way things will be for me from now on, given my age. And I accepted that, but I still tried to find something that would at least reduce the pain and the swelling, since all the medicine he prescribed me, even though it cost me an arm and a leg, honestly didn't do much. Over the years, I looked and tried tens of, not hundreds, of methods, and I must admit, when I saw your website, I was indeed a bit skeptical. But the science is there, I must admit. And it's backed up, not just with research studies, but with me. Me as a living proof that this actually works. No need for MRI scans, CT scans, blood tests, because the pain is gone, and it is the only thing that helped it go away. And that is your method. Actually, my doctor is pretty shocked, and he's been silently recommending your method to his patients, along with the medicine he is obligated to prescribe. It's just the way things work in modern medicine, thanks to the pharma industry, is what he told me. This is literally life-saving. Thank you." Or Amanda Pearson, 56-year-old from Dalton, who wrote to us, Living with joint pain is no fun at all. Apart from not being able to do things like a regular person all the time, every single day, it made me feel like a 90-year-old. My mind was shattered. I started having suicidal thoughts, and the only thing that kept me going was the thought of my children. They were the ones that showed me your method and told me that it had excellent reviews. So I said to myself, why not give it a try? At first, nothing changed. But then after a short while, it actually started working. The pain was gradually fading away until one day it completely went away, and I was swept off my feet. I was finally able to sleep and stop taking the antidepressants I'd been eating like candy. Oh, the feeling of living like a normal person is amazing. Life is amazing thanks to you and to this amazing and life-saving solution. I thank you deeply from the bottom of my heart. And Liam Campbell, a 60-year-old from Boston who says, I've eaten healthy my whole life and all of a sudden I had inflammation in my knees. It was torturing me for 3 years straight, to the point I decided to have surgery scheduled for next spring. I had to. I couldn't do anything at all. In the meantime, I tried pain relief solutions with hopes the pain would subside. I'll never forget how I woke up one morning being pain-free and able to move my feet just fine, and it was all thanks to this scientifically backed method. I don't need to say much, only that I canceled my surgery. I don't need it. Months ahead and I haven't felt pain in the slightest. Bless you, sir. And this is precisely the reason why I came forward with this natural and safe method. To help all these honest people escape from any kind of joint pain naturally and fast, without wasting a lifetime savings on medications and highly dangerous surgeries that can cause even more damage. And I know exactly how it feels, because not too long ago, I was on the same boat. When joint pain came, it took away everything in my life that I held dear. I was waking up to a dull and burning sensation that would spread across my fingers, my knees, hips, and back, causing me to gradually lose mobility, while pain and swelling took over almost 24/7. As a result, I had a hard time controlling my limbs and body as a whole. For instance, simple things like gripping doorknobs, using light switches, and turning faucets was impossible when my joints were deformed and stiffness lasted for hours. My wife was scared nearly to death, as she would see me start walking just fine and then go limping in just a matter of seconds. Pain would flare up out of the blue and spread like a wildfire. It reached a point where it was no use postponing the visit to the doctor any longer. When I finally crossed the doorstep, I was told the most dreadful news. I was diagnosed with chronic arthritis and given a long list with drugs I'd never heard of. The treatment would vary based on the severity of my condition. I took the paper with a grain of salt, but my doctor assured me the medicine would help rid me of the pain and the swelling would eventually stop. I was just 54 years old. First, I tried NSAIDs like ibuprofen, naproxen, and diclofenac, anti-inflammatory non-steroidal painkillers, as the most common suggested solution for joint pain relief. Trust me when I say this to you, they did absolutely nothing for me. In fact, I was shocked when I found out that 1 in 6 patients experience no pain relief whatsoever when resorting to NSAIDs. And on a much worse note, my blood pressure actually increased during the treatment. Apparently, NSAIDs increase water retention and reduce sodium levels, causing hypertension and even damaging your kidneys. Other side effects include intestinal bleeding, stomach ulcers, nausea, and excessive fatigue, to name just a few. Needless to say, I gave them up immediately. Something that was supposed to ease my pain didn't, and instead put the whole of my health in great danger. Next, my doctor prescribed me corticosteroids that come in the form of pills or shots injected right into the joints. Even thinking of that still makes my hair stand on end. Taking them was the worst decision I ever made. I gained a great amount of weight because of them, wasted a fortune. My blood pressure increased again, and on top of it, I started suffering from insomnia and was highly agitated every day. The doctor's solution? I was forced to torment my body and mind with still other drugs in order to reverse these side effects. I was being caught up in a net with no escape. And I was one of the lucky ones. I read about other people that started losing their eyesight, got cataracts, glaucoma, had memory problems, severe mood changes, and yes, even more swelling, to name just a few of the other side effects. Can someone explain to me how anti-inflammatory and anti-swelling drugs worsen the symptoms they are supposed to treat? Thank God I got away. When my doctor proposed steroid injections that would spare me from the side effects and reduce the pain for at least half a year, the thought crossed my mind for a brief moment. Eventually, there was no way I would go on with such barbaric interventions, since simple steroid pills made me a walking mess and took none of my pain away, not to mention that just a single shot was around $1,000. I tried everything there was to try, from acupuncture, soaking in hot baths, and physiotherapies to meditations. And yes, I paid a small fortune to some Chinese monks that promised to heal my joints in just a week. Of course, all I gained was a waste of time and money. And sure, I may have been naive to do something like this to begin with, but I was desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. I felt like an old crippled man that was nothing but a burden for those around him. As time passed by, I found myself drowning in a sea full of medications and exotic remedies. I began to lie to my family and told them that my pain was not as bad as it actually was. I tricked myself into believing that I was just too sensitive. But the reality was that my condition was aggravating more and more, day by day, as the inflammation was only getting worse. I wish I would have known about this simple and safe pain relief method before the tragic incident during my daughter's wedding. You see, my youngest daughter, Emma, was getting married, and as tradition has it, I was supposed to have the second dance with the bride as her father. My wife said it wasn't a good idea because of my spiking pain, saying that our daughter would surely understand, but I brushed it off and even felt a little hurt. What kind of father would I be if I placed my own fears before my daughter's happiness? So I packed a handful of the strongest medication and creams and was ready to give her a dreamy wedding dance without any short of discounts. And then the unthinkable happened. While she was twirling around and reaching for me, my fingers didn't obey me and I failed to grab her hand. I saw her crushing towards the nearest table and people gasping in horror. She was this close to getting cut by shattered glass, and it was only by a miracle that nothing happened to her. "Dad, why didn't you catch me?" she shouted at me in pain. I was devastated. Joint pain was nothing compared to the remorse and emotional pain I was feeling at that moment. Even though the celebration continued and my daughter had the time of her life, I couldn't help but consider myself a danger to my loved ones from then on. Sitting alone in the back, I heard someone asking me how I was feeling. It was my daughter's father-in-law, Daniel. As we started talking, I told him my story of how arthritis threw my life into chaos, and now, as he just witnessed, it posed a danger for those closest to me. He seemed compassionate and placed his arm on my shoulder, saying that he would help me get rid of the disease if I wanted to. I couldn't help myself, giving him a stare full of doubt, but that did nothing more than bring a cheeky smile to his face. You see, you couldn't tell it looking at him, but Daniel was born in this beautiful Amish community. As you may already know, the Amish rely on old medical practices to treat their people, and one of the most important skills for their communities is medical knowledge. Doctors are highly educated and respected by the entire community, and they are the only ones who know the secrets to treating hundreds of diseases and ailments using all natural methods. When he was 20 years old, he made a life-changing decision, choosing to leave his village behind in order to pursue his dream of becoming a scientist. Now, 40 years later, he is a well-renowned biologist. He is a highly praised scientist, specializing in helping doctors with natural healings for the most complicated and difficult joint diseases and injuries. A few years back, even won a big international prize for biology, the greatest honor a biologist of his time can get for their work. Even though Daniel worked with highly successful and powerful doctors all around the world and was the recipient of famous awards, he never wanted to be the one in the spotlight. He was living a peaceful and normal life according to the customs of the Amish, as his father and grandfather had taught him. Many of these healing methods were written down in an old compendium, filled with incredible medicine his father had given him. There were whole chapters in which Amish doctors had written about how to reduce inflammation, things that even Daniel himself used to get rid of his own chronic pain and stiffness. He told me he could start the next day, and I should visit him at his office. Honestly, I was in no need of trying whatever Daniel was talking about. I was absolutely convinced it wasn't going to do much anyway. But I accepted his invitation because I was feeling so guilty about what had happened to my daughter. The next morning when I knocked on his door, he put a powder-like substance in front of me, instructing me that I had to drink it every day for the next few weeks. He said this would help ease the pain and reduce inflammation in my joints, as well as restore my mobility. I'm sure the look on my face clearly showed that I thought he was crazy. I didn't say it, but in my mind I was asking myself, how can he fix something that over a dozen doctors that I've already gone to couldn't? Seriously. But you know, the guilt made me move forward, pushing me to try it. After all, I thought, what harm can it do? Following that, Daniel would call me every other day in order to track my progress and even gave me some reports to fill in. The first few days I noticed nothing, no change at all. Actually, no surprise. Joints still hurt, my limbs were as stiff as ever, and I could hardly walk in the morning. The only difference I experienced is that I was in greater spirits. I felt more alive, and my focus and concentration had improved noticeably. Poor Daniel, I thought. He was waiting so eagerly for results, and I felt ashamed I had to deliver the exact opposite news. But then, the following day, something strange happened. I woke up and got out of bed to do my morning routine, and as I was brushing my teeth, I froze. I looked down at my hand holding the toothbrush, and I was completely shocked. My fingers could move just fine with absolutely zero pain. My first thought was that it was just a coincidence, but then the pain didn't return for that whole day. I went to bed, got out of the bed, walked to the kitchen, and even helped my wife with random house chores, and the pain was no more. Then the next morning, it happened again. As I followed Daniel's instructions and drank his delicious cocktail, I noticed that the pain had gone. I was in shock. Now, I know what you're thinking of. You probably heard this story a few times and are asking yourself, can this be true? Can my pain actually go away? Here's a video of me doing push-ups for the first time in years, ever since this hellish disease first pounced on me.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
All right.
Can you imagine that? Sir, madam, I have been pain-free for the past 2 years, and now I can openly speak about Daniel's incredible method. But wait to see how great this actually worked for others, just like you and me. Now, as for me personally, this was the first time in years I could walk like a normal person. It was incredible. The swelling was gone, the cracking noises in my joints stopped, and I was sleeping like a baby. I kept following the plan for 5 more weeks as Daniel advised me, because we had to make sure the results were long-term. In just a few weeks, I was able to get rid of chronic pain, regain my joint flexibility, and win back my ability to move with ease just by following Daniel's Amish formula. And just when I thought things couldn't get better, somehow they did. All the weight I had gained since the disease started, it started melting like butter in a frying pan. I was able to jog, play hide and seek with my grandchildren, and even jump with them on the trampoline we had set up in the backyard for them. I was literally acting like a kid again. And an amazing thing I discovered is that no matter how much effort I put in or how much I strained my joints, I was never ever again brutalized by any sort of pain or even swelling. I could do gardening for hours, anything. I was just as energetic and flexible as before it had all started. I visited Daniel to thank him for the tremendous help he'd given me. I told him that everyone should know about this. It would save millions of lives. But then Daniel told me something that made me feel ashamed. This formula has been around for centuries. All I did was enhance it through my research. But who in the world would try a method that has nothing to do with modern medicine? Even you, Adam, were extremely skeptical to begin with. A lot of people think like you used to think. And if not triggered or pushed to their limits, they won't give a chance to such things, calling them alternative medicine, as if that were a bad word. Modern medicine is all they trust and worship, even though it has let them down so many times. But it is still all they have known and all they have tried. They're used to rushing to the doctor and then going back again after a few days because of some new issues caused by the medication they were prescribed. Not just that, but they're willing to take even more pills. I hate to admit it, but he was right. He was so right. And then I made an appointment with my doctor. Weirdly enough, the surprised one wasn't him, it was me. He was all ready to give me a new prescription. He asked me the regular questions, checked on my joints, and then started reading my x-rays and lab results. He looked at me shocked and accused me that I had somehow slipped him someone else's test results. This can't happen, he said. So he made me go through 2 more tests and some exercises used by the military as a further test. He said I was faking it. Really? I mean, why would I fake having no pain? Seriously, what's wrong with these doctors? So I did all of them, each and every test he wanted me to, one by one. My doctor was staring at me like I was an alien. He just couldn't understand what had happened. Looking at me with that sad, pathetic look of his, like he'd just lost his pot of gold. And I laughed. I laughed so hard I may have pulled a muscle, because there was no pain whatsoever. My old self was finally back. So I decided to do a little research and see what's behind Daniel's blend. There had to be a scientific reason behind it, and I was going to discover it. I started with the ingredients. The first one that caught my attention was guggle. Guggle derives from the plant Commiphora whitei and is hailed for reducing swelling, tenderness, and stiffness on the joints in case of chronic arthritis, and even in people suffering from osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. What amazed me, however, and is analyzed in the Journal of Traditional and Complementary Medicine, is that guggle is also known to contain flavonoids and steroids, compounds that have anti-inflammatory properties and protect the joints from a very dangerous chemical known as sulfur dioxide. Now here's where things get very interesting, so listen closely. This substance takes different forms based on where it is found or what it's used for. For example, if combined with air, oxygen, and water, it can take the form of rain and snow. Have you ever heard about acid rain? This is what it is. Now guess where else sulfur dioxide is found? In your food supply. Sulfur dioxide is in fact commonly used as a food additive, a preservative for its powerful antimicrobial properties that prevent spoilage by microorganisms entering our food and, as a result, our own body. Sulfur dioxide is in fact a food additive that prevents yeast, fungi, and parasites from surviving in our food and entering our bodies. But this doesn't mean it's safe. On the contrary, this toxic substance is what eventually destroys our bodies, literally. Honestly, this was where things got complicated for me, as I couldn't see a connection with my own joint pain. So I kept searching until I came across something that made my blood run cold. According to a research conceived by the American College of Rheumatology and a study published in the scientific journal Toxicology Reports, preservatives like sulfur dioxide have been directly linked with joint pain, swelling, and muscle stiffness. And over the course of a few years, they have been explored as a possible source of inflammation, joint pain, and chronic arthritis. Recently, a research published in the scientific magazine Insights in Clinical and Cellular Immunology explains that these particles trigger a cellular activation that eventually, as scientists from Stanford University post, is the real cause behind the inflammation that plagues our joints. It is through our food supply these additives enter our bloodstream, reaching every corner of our body. And guess where they eventually pile up? In your joints. And the reason this happens is because the soft tissues of the cartilage don't have the ability to process artificial ingredients, making the joints the perfect environment for them to thrive in. Since this is a foreign agent, your body automatically responds to it and triggers an inflammatory process, which stimulates pain in your joints that causes stiffness, tender muscles, and makes it very hard for you to walk. Even painkillers won't work because they don't treat the root cause of the problem. And when a problem is treated poorly and not from its root, it gets terribly, terribly worse. The damage in your cartilage tissues persists, the pain in your joints intensifies, and muscle stiffness and sensitivity increases day by day. I was shocked. Apparently, sooner or later, every single one of us will be hit by chronic joint pain, be it osteoarthritis, inflammation, or any other form. And even if we chose our diet and foods carefully, we still wouldn't be safe, because in reality, there's no choice for us to make. From a quick Google search, I stumbled upon an endless list of additives and preservatives used in our foods. According to Harvard University, 60% of our everyday diet contains foods full of preservatives. No wonder 1 out of 4 Americans already suffers from joint pain and stiffness. And yet what shocked me even more is that even foods that are labeled as organic or clean contain preservatives under different names. Plenty of these are banned around the world but are still used in the U.S. Good old America. Daniel, however, grew up in a different environment. He watched his family practice the traditional Amish farming techniques, free of the dangerous toxins that plagues our joints. His parents grew all kinds of plants and herbs that they combined and used as treatments, and wrote them all down in an old compendium which had been passed down for tens of generations. So when they happened to catch a cold, feel sick, or suffer from some sort of pain, they managed to treat it fast using natural ingredients. This is why there can be a person in his late 50s, like myself, who is suffering from chronic pain at such a young age, while my sons-in-law relatives were standing up all night without any problem whatsoever. I swear I saw his grandmother moving with ease, and she was over 80. I finally got it. The Amish were living an easygoing life, growing their own food, and didn't use any sort of fertilizers or additives. They lived in the countryside and preferred a simple and healthy way of doing things than the anxiety and stress of a huge city. Daniel was able to develop this formula because he has been a witness of the difference between the two different lifestyles and made the necessary connection. Eventually, his improvements paved the way for what is now considered a joint pain breakthrough. And it is, because it is attacking the problem on two fronts. First, it flushes out the dangerous additives from your system, and second, it repairs the damage it has done to your joints. I looked over the next ingredient, and this one sounded familiar to me. It was niacin. Niacin, going by the name vitamin B3, is an essential nutrient that our body needs in order to function properly. According to a research published in the scientific journal Nature and the National Library of Medicine, niacin shields joint fragments and cartilage tissues against outside toxins and small particles, all while improving joint flexibility and elasticity. It eliminates the inflammation caused by piled-up preservatives, reduces tenderness in the joints, and increases muscle movement and function. There's even a rumor that the U.S. military has been using vitamin B3 in dietary supplements to combat joint issues that thousands of soldiers have been suffering from. While your joints heal and your ability to move with ease and without pain returns, this exceptional vitamin makes sure to lower cholesterol and blood pressure levels, boost your brain and memory, and even rejuvenate your skin. Next on Daniel's list were cayenne pepper and garlic bulb powder. Now, cayenne pepper contains natural elements called capsaicinoids. According to the University of Michigan and European Journal of Translation Myology, these elements act as antioxidants that eradicate free radicals, toxins, and additives from our bodies, and contain anti-inflammatory compounds proven to diminish swelling, cartilage damage, combat joint pain, and increase mobility. Cayenne pepper has also been utilized in order to prevent lower back pain and secure pain relief treatment after injuries and surgeries. Garlic bulb powder has been proven to effectively battle chronic arthritis, as well as being an antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. It contains allicin, and diallyl disulfide, active ingredients that operate in many levels. Studies published on the academic press and scientific paper Food Science and Nutrition explain how they fight off joint pain. First, they destroy the additives in your cartilage thanks to their antioxidant functions, and then they obliterate the inflammation in your joints. The pain starts reducing significantly. Moving and walking becomes easy, while they also make sure to bulletproof your whole joint complex, protecting your cartilage from future damage and infections thanks to their antimicrobial and antifungal properties. Reading all this, it all made sense now. Danny's listed 2 more ingredients, both of them rich in anti-inflammatory substances and joint pain relief elements. Combined in specific quantities, they make sure to inhibit joint damage caused by the toxins found in your meals or anywhere else, and also prevent an inflammatory explosion from taking place in your cartilage. Plaststerols secure strong and firm muscles by increasing muscle cells in size, protect and enhance bone density and health, and even stabilize the amount of cholesterol in our bodies. Last but not least, Policosanol has the ability to regenerate tissue, such as the ones destroyed in our cartilage, moderates blood flow circulation that speeds up pain relief, reduces the risk of heart diseases while maintaining optimal function of the arteries. They boost your memory and focus, ensuring increased neuroprotection, and skyrocket your energy levels. And of course, the ultimate goal of Daniel's formula is to end joint pain and inflammation once and for all. Reading all this information blew my mind. So I set an appointment with another doctor that is well known in the area, and I hoped he would be open-minded to at least look at the results and give this to his patients. I told him how I hurt my daughter on her wedding day, how the pain kept getting worse despite all the medication he prescribed me, and how I ended up following an Amish program that fixed my joints in just a couple of weeks. I showed him everything Daniel showed me. I was waiting for a wow and oh my God, but all I got was a disgusted look and a speech that left me in awe. The doctor told me this was old news. A bunch of scientists already checked out these traditional methods and confirmed they worked, but no one wants to hear about them now. There are new ways now. There are surgeries and steroids and modern technology, and if I want to follow these ancient methods, maybe I should go back to the village I came from, because I'm not fit for the big city life. I was puzzled. On one hand, I wanted to punch him in the face. On the other hand, I knew he was so caught up in his modern reality that nothing could pull him out of it. And then it hit me. How many more people are there just like him? Just like I used to be. How many people trust modern medicine blindly, even though it disappointed them, or even hurt them, over and over again? Sure, many of them, just like my doctor, simply refuse to get out of their bubble and try something new, something guaranteed to help them, as proven by hundreds of thousands of people who've preserved their mobility, joint and muscle movement throughout the centuries. But some of them have no clue that there are other ways than the methods that modern medicine are forcing upon them. And if they knew, they'd be willing to give it a shot and see the incredible results by themselves. So after thinking it through, I decided to cheat the system and share this formula my own way, without their help. I'll admit it wasn't easy at all. I needed something very easy to follow, and Daniel told me that in order for this to work, the ingredients had to come from specific places, and the recipe needed to be 100% pure. So I asked Daniel to help me find what I was looking for. After weeks of researching, we found the right company to help us with this. We had the formula and knew how it worked, so we needed to make sure the ingredients were sourced, keeping the same high quality. To be honest, this was extremely difficult. There are a lot of folks out there just trying to profit on your goodwill. People trying to make a quick buck who don't care about the quality of ingredients. Daniel and I searched in every corner of the world until we found the right ingredients. We only wanted to work with certified manufacturers to make sure that we got top quality ingredients. It was an excruciating job. It took us several weeks, but we finally did it. I cried like a child as I was holding the formula that made me a normal human being again. We called it Flexomend, the all-natural Amish formula that eliminates joint pain, increases muscle optimal working capacity, ensures flexibility, balance, strength, and movement. In just a couple of weeks, each ingredient was specifically selected for its anti-inflammatory properties, and when combined together in the right quantities, all these superfoods have the ability to stop the undying pain in your joints. Every capsule inside Flexomend is made here in the U.S. in our FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility, under extremely sterile, strict, and precise conditions. All capsules are non-GMO safe. They do not contain any stimulants or toxins, and they are not habit or tolerance forming. Now you probably have 2 questions at this point. How do I get my hands on this incredible natural formula? And when and in what quantity should I take this supplement? I'll admit, it's hard for me to answer the first question. The truth is, most of the ingredients used to make this formula are really difficult to source, which makes our ability to keep high stocks of Flexomend on hand almost impossible. Everyone that has already tested Flexomend and got rid of the aggravating pain and repaired their destroyed joints keeps asking us for more bottles for themselves and for their families and friends. Basically making our stock run out in days every time we get a new shipment. And very important, we produce Flexomend in small batches only. Once we run out, you'll have to wait another 3 months. This way we can keep the quality of our product high, so it will be 100% efficient. Since you're here right now, your product is reserved. But if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Now, before I answer the second question, when and what quantity should you take the supplement, there is something very important you need to know. To make this formula work for you depends on what your goal is and what the severity of your joint pain and inflammation is, and how long you've been exposed to sulfur dioxide and similar particulates. Based on a test we made with our partnering labs on 8,900 men and women, while looking at the severity of their joint pain, stiffness, and the exposure of SO2, I must say the results were shockingly bad. So our safe response to this is, don't risk it. After seeing the results of 79,600 people from all over the world, for everyone that suffers from inflamed joints, chronic arthritis, or osteoarthritis, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Flexomend, enough for a period of 90 days. And if you want to be completely safe and don't take any chances, then we recommend at least 6 bottles or more. This way you will be absolutely sure you repair the damage and gain 100% mobility and flexibility naturally. People like you and me, we have long forgotten how amazing these remedies can be, but the Amish people still guard the secrets of nature and use them to stay healthy and strong all throughout their lives. This joint pain relief formula that I have tested myself and tens of thousands of other people is so powerful that it can vanish chronic pain and inflammation, swelling and stiffness. Once you flushed out this dangerous toxin out of your body, you will not have to deal with this wrecking condition again in your life. And there are 79,600 people and counting who've tried it ever since I started spreading the word. I get dozens of messages from them every single day telling me about their incredible results. Like Matt P., 54 years old from Charlotte, North Carolina, who said, "Before trying Flexomend, I was on anti-inflammatory diets, did regular exercise, was on pain and inflammation medications, and visited my rheumatologist regularly. I stumbled upon your product while on Facebook, when I read a friend's status that highly praised it. I made my order, and after a few weeks my life had been completely changed. I'm off medication, I can move and walk like in my 20s, like arthritis never existed. Thank you both Adam and Daniel, your work is tremendous." Or Doris F., 67 years old from Norfolk, Virginia, who wrote to us, "I watched my sister die from the heavy-duty meds that were supposed to ease her pain and only caused her more problems. I was always leaning on the natural way of doing things, and over the years I used a lot of supplements. But I'm telling you, Flexomend is like nothing I've ever tried before. It made the pain go away completely, and the cane I use for walking is now somewhere in the back of my closet. After all these months, I hadn't felt the slightest discomfort. Bless you, bless you." And Ethan M., 69 years old from Riverside, California, who said, "I love Flexomend. I had arthritis and osteoporosis, and since taking it, I noticed I had much less stiffness and pain in knees, hips, and back. I was so thrilled I finally found something that works that I ordered more bottles. After 9 months, I can proudly say that I am 100% healthy. Thank you so very much." These are just 3 of the 79,600 people that have tried the Amish program since I put this video up, and my inbox is full of messages just like these from people who just can't believe they've gained back their joint health and mobility naturally. Right now, they're not using any sort of prescribed medication or walking equipment, which is great. But the best thing is that they finally got rid of all the excruciating pain, the burning and the tingling, the risk of losing their balance and falling, eventually being sentenced to a wheelchair for life. And as a bonus, they stopped wasting money in physiotherapies, doctors, and all sort of useless creams. And that's why it was so hard to put a price on it. Because for me, it's more about spreading the word than it is about the money. But unfortunately, in these days, even sharing a revolutionary method like this one doesn't come free. Putting together a system, making the website, spreading it on the internet, and even putting aside some money just in case we'll ever have to fight those people who are so desperately trying to get the formula removed off the internet. All these things are expensive. To be honest, I first had no idea how to proceed. So after consulting with Daniel, I decided to make this video and put it up on the internet. So here's how you can be 100% sure the Amish program is the real deal and the results are just as good as promised. Some internet experts recommended charging $247 for the program. My face probably twisted in an unnatural way because they rushed to tell me I could charge even more if $247 isn't enough for me, because the product is really good and it would sell anyway. And yet, I wanted to charge the minimum possible, and I mean the tiniest price they could possibly come up with. Of course, they looked at each other like I was insane and tried to convince me I could get riches, fame, and a special place in paradise with my name written in gold letters. But I kept insisting they come up with the minimal price, so they did as I wished. The result of this product little talk is that right now, I am able to tell you you won't have to pay $247 or $147 or even $99. I'm happy to say that today you can finally restore your joint mobility and health and get Flexomend for just $69 and not a penny more. This money will be used to keep the website up and running, pay the tech team behind the video, and, a little surprise for you, a special customer service team that will be here for you 24/7 to help you with any questions or dilemmas you may have about the program. They know everything there is to know about the program. Most of them have already tried it and have now taken full control over their health, so you can ask them anything that crosses your mind. Now here's the thing. 3 bottles of Flexomend will heal your joints and restore your mobility and flexibility by 100%. They will also eliminate tenderness and pain, protect and preserve healthy cartilage tissue, strengthen your muscles, and even shield you from bone disease. All while doing the most crucial part, putting an end to the inflammation on a cellular level and flushing out the dangerous particles of SO2 from your knees, shoulders, and back. But there is a reason why almost all of our users smartly choose the 6 bottles package. Once you go with the 6 bottles package, in just 4 months from now, you will feel overwhelming relief as the damage done in your cartilage will be reversed. The soft tissues in your joint area will be strengthened by 300% and be completely safe from future toxins and infestations once and for all. It'll ensure strong and flexible hips, arms, and legs that you will move with extreme ease, 0 traces of pain or even the slightest discomfort on your joints, giving you better defined muscles, skyrocketing energy levels, and even boost your memory and focus. Many years from now, you'll still be the same energetic and flexible individual without having to worry about sore ankles, pressure on your knees, or even crossing your legs, climbing the stairs, and taking a beautiful walk outside with your loved ones. And I'm going to do something even better. Our manufacturing partner gave us permission to offer a discount on the 6-bottle package of Flexomend. You can get them for only $49 per bottle, and you'll also get free shipping for as long as the supply lasts. Now, if this sounds good for you, here's what you need to do next. Select the 6-bottle package or any other package you want, hit the button below, and fill the form on the other page. Once you've secured your order, in 7 days from now, you'll get Flexomend right at your doorstep. This program is about to turn your life around. So here's what I'm going to do next. Once you've selected your package below, hit the order button and secure your order. You're going to get a 60-day money-back guarantee on Flexomend. No questions asked, no hassle, no red tape. If you don't experience great results with this formula, if you are not excited and happy that you can finally move your hands above your head, open the door with ease, and just feel the joy that a normal person does, then just send me an email and I will refund your entire investment without asking any questions and with no hard feeling whatsoever. Just imagine this. In almost no time, you'll be feeling the first results, and let me tell you, they feel good. Suddenly, it's like the pain and stiffness never existed, and now you're free from years of captivity. Excruciating pain that was messing with every aspect of your life, forcing you to stop doing your favorite things, playing with your grandchildren, having a walk with your wife, and doing the simplest and easiest of things like grabbing your keys. You end up believing that's just normal. They say it comes with age, or maybe it's in your genes, but when you start following this program, you'll see for yourself that having great mobility and optimally working joints, even at 70 years of age, can be achieved effortlessly, and it's the most natural thing in the world. In just a couple of weeks, you'll throw these nasty and useless medications right into the trash bin and forget about them forever. And then you can go to your doctor if you want and check your joints, have more lab tests and x-rays done. You'll be impressed to see that you've gained 100% control over your movements without putting in any special effort, without feeling even the tiniest amount of pain or burning. And I will bet you $500 right now that your doctor will make you retake the test at least once because he simply can't understand what happened with your knees, arms, back, or hips. That's how powerful the Amish program is, and it's absolutely amazing that after so many centuries, it still works like a Swiss watch. Better than any other option out there, ranging from the most dangerous and expensive prescriptions out there to surgeries that make no difference. Right now, this program is one click away from you. Just click on the button below and we'll have the package sent to your door. You have a full 60-day money-back guarantee that protects your investment 24/7. The way I see it, you either win your joint health back or lose nothing at all, without any risk. Although when you think of what you're risking here, compared with what you spend on one single visit to the doctor, not including the cost of steroids or injections that you have to go on with over and over again. This is a one-time fee for a program that will last you for years to come, if not for a lifetime. But even so, it's a guaranteed risk-free program, so you don't have to worry about a thing when you press that button. As I said before, the only thing you lose is a walking cane or drugs that destroy your body from the inside out. But what you gain is joint flexibility and 100% muscle movement, completely naturally, without any side effects. Well, I think that can compensate for your loss at least 100 times. Now look, this isn't a decision you need to sleep on. It's either taking control over your health now or simply turning into a crippled person that becomes a burden to those around them. Right now, you have to choose between getting rid of joint pain and stiffness in just a matter of weeks or spend your whole life changing prescriptions because your knees, arms, hips, and back are getting worse. Think about your health. Think about your job, your family, your money, your time. Why force yourself to go through this when you can choose the easy way, the natural way that repairs your joints effortlessly, and also dirt cheap if you compare it to any other method? So don't waste another second. Select the 6 bottles package or any other package you want. Click on the button below and get Flexomend now. And after you've successfully tried it, I can't wait to hear about your results. Still here? No worries, I understand, especially given the amazing secrets that I've revealed in this presentation. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me answer some of the most important questions we receive about Flexomend, so you can go ahead and select one of the packages below with full confidence. Is Flexomend right for me? I'll admit I get this question quite often, and the answer is always the same. If you suffer from joint pain and haven't been able to stop the inflammation, then Flexomend is definitely right for you. The root cause of your joint pain is the activation of an inflammation that destroys your cartilage and leads to severe aching. Your cartilage tissues are alarmed by sulfur dioxide and other chemicals that are used in foods and can be found in different forms in various industries. The key in fighting this invisible enemy is a set of natural compounds found in some specific traditional Amish dishes and known by the Amish people for centuries. Flexomend is a 100% natural supplement which contains all the powerful ingredients from these superfoods, plus a mix of specific vitamins to boost its power. Once you start taking Flexomend, it will form a natural immune barrier to protect your joints from the sulfur infestation and reverse and repair the damage it has caused. And after this dangerous chemical is flushed out of your system, your joints will start to improve, and in almost no time, you'll be back to moving and walking like a perfectly healthy individual. The one you deserve to be from the moment you were born. Is Flexomend safe to use? Extremely so. Flexomend has been successfully tested by more than 79,000 men and women from all over the world with absolutely no reported side effects. Well, maybe the only side effect is you keeping your money in your pockets and not funding Big Pharma's shady business. Flexomend addresses the real root cause of your inflamed joints in an extremely safe and natural way. Now, of course, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions at this very moment, we strongly advise that you consult with your doctor first. How should I use Flexomend? In order to achieve optimal results, we recommend you take 1 power capsule after breakfast, lunch, or dinner daily with a big glass of water. It should provide you with the necessary energy intake as well as extra protection against the dangers of sulfur dioxide. What do you mean by risk-free guarantee? We are so confident our formula will help you revive your joint mobility that we decided to give a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee. Even if you're only 99% satisfied and you don't want Flexomend anymore, send us an email and we'll refund every penny you invested. No questions asked, no hassle, no red tape. For how long will Flexomend still be available? First of all, you should know that the only place you can get Flexomend is right here on this page. As for how long Flexomend will still be available on this page, I'm not really sure. History has shown us that the joint treatment industry fat cats are not going to sit on the bench and watch as their margins turn into dust. They'll spend as much money as they need in legal fees to shut down this site. This may be your last chance to get Flexomend. The choice is up to you, of course. But I wouldn't wait. This website might be gone, even if you accidentally hit the refresh button. Why haven't I heard of this before? So far, this Amish secret has never left the community. It's been passed and secretly guarded from generation to generation. After all, the Amish people aren't extremely connected with the modern world we live in, and besides, most people would instantly reject this program because they blindly trust modern medicine. There is actual scientific evidence in a recent groundbreaking research published by a world-renowned team of scientists from Stanford University, proving this is guaranteed work for anyone. If you're like me and modern medicine has disappointed you over and over again, promised you results that never happened, or worse, burdened you with horrific side effects, then this natural program is right for you. What happens after I click the buy button? Once you click on the link below, you will be redirected to our secure order page, where your package awaits. Once you finish your order, which will not take you more than 60 seconds, we will ship the package directly to your door. Then you can finally escape this horrible chronic pain and healing your joints in just a matter of weeks with just 1 glass of water and a capsule every day. I hope I answered all your remaining questions, and by now you can safely and confidently order your own supply of Flexomend today. Also, I feel like it's my duty to confess that in order to achieve the best results, my personal recommendation for you is to choose either the 6 or at least the 3-bottle package. So go ahead and secure your package now. Fill in the shipping details on the other side and start enjoying the benefits Flexomend has prepared for you. I look forward to hearing your success story.